The 27th, one of the great professional wrestling cards, will be held in Baltimore, scheduled on Saturday, December 27th, on the Holiday Wrestling Spectacular. Can you just imagine what will happen when some 6 feet 9 inches, 330 pounds, I believe, of Hulk Hogan clashes with the enormity, 7 feet 5 inches, 480, maybe even closer to 500 pounds now, making reference to Andre the Giant. When these two clash, you'll be able to hear the thunder all the way back to Towson, Maryland. Notwithstanding many other great matches on this card, including, of course, the main event, some 10 months in the making for the Intercontinental title. Ken Patera meets wrestling's living legend, Bruno Sammartino. Our guest, the manager of Hulk Hogan, Fred Blassie. If you can pull this one off, Fred Blassie, you'll have, well, I don't know, what will you have?
McMahon, you know how many telegrams and phone calls I've received? No, you wouldn't know, but I will tell you and those pencil neck geeks out there. This match, to me, means $1 million. That's what it means, $1 million in cash, because those are the offers I've received when my man defeats Andre the Giant, and I guarantee that's what he will do. When he plies that Hogan's hammer and hits Andre the Giant, there's only one way Andre can go, either backwards or forwards right on his face. And that's all it'll take to turn him over and then put his foot right on his chest. 1, 2, 3. And $1 million will be mine. And you know I love money. Capital M-O-N-E-Y, that's how you spell Blassie. Because that's the way you get these things right here.
Now, Mr. Blassie, that is the upside of things. Now, what about the downside? What if Hulk Hogan is unsuccessful?
McMahon, there's no such a word in the Blassie vocabulary. Unsuccessful. Because if I feel that a man is not qualified, I would not put him in against anyone. But if that should happen, well then, I don't know about Hogan.
You'd probably throw him to the wolves, wouldn't you? Fred Blassie, the manager of Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan gets a great opportunity in meeting Andre the Giant. Perhaps it'll be Hulk Hogan who can do what no other man has been able to do thus far, defeat Andre the Giant. Our guest now, Bruno Sammartino, coming back to Baltimore and locking up with Ken Patera.
You know, Vince, I have to laugh, and I certainly hope that the people in Baltimore don't believe the garbage that came out of the Wizard's mouth the last time he spoke to you, saying that very night Patera beat me, and he also signed an open contract, but it took them 10 months to get Bruno to sign the contract again. You know, that's really insulting everybody's intelligence. All those 10,000 or whatever amount of people were there that night. First of all, there was no winner in that bout, and I'm the first to admit that, because Patera, who dragged me out there, he snuck from the floor to the ropes, and he came in, hooked my ankle, took me down. Automatically, we were disqualified for 2 men being outside the ring. This is how the bout ended, so the bout was considered a draw. So there was no victor. And that night, I was furious. I went to the commission. I said, doggone it, I'd like to have a return match with this guy. This is no way to end the bout. That night, when the commissioner said they would do whatever they could do about it, Patera was nowhere to be heard of. He said, speak to my manager, who was nowhere around. Now they're making this accusation that same night, well, you're liars, both of you. But how are you going to lie your way out of when we do go into that ring? Because this time, Vince, and I hope that maybe we can accomplish this, and that is to maybe do away with the rule of automatic disqualification when both guys are outside the ring. But rather, in this particular bout, let it go on to the end. Let it go on to so there is a winner and a loser. Because then I want to hear what the Grand Wizard and what Patera have to say. Just keep going till somebody wins and somebody loses. And I'll tell you something, Wizard and Patera, you can lie to the world, but you can't lie to yourselves, because you know what happened, you know you refused, and you're going to have to face me again. And you know what? That's going to be your problem, because Bruno's ready, willing, able. I will be there, and I'm also going to be the winner.
Very confident, Bruno Sammartino, perhaps as well he should be, as Bruno prepares for the upcoming return match against Ken Patera. Our guest coming into view now, Ken Patera, along with the Grand Wizard.
You know, Bruno, it's quite obvious that you have 2 of the greatest athletes in the world, you and I, 2 of the strongest athletes in the world, you and I. What does that make for? It makes for a classic confrontation that you screwed up last time, Bruno. You deliberately jumped out of the ring and hit me with the chair on the floor, and you knew that's a deliberate disqualification because you knew I had you beaten.